there, it's Sarah. I'm back with another 12-minute workout to help you stay active on even those busiest days. Today's 12 minutes is all about the glutes, and we're going to be down on the floor, then up on the feet, and we'll finish back down on the floor. So if you need a mat or a towel, somewhere where you can lay down, then go ahead and grab that real quick. And we're going to get started today. We've got 30-second blocks, which we do back-to-back 4 times. We're going to work for 2 straight minutes, take a 30-second break, and then we'll repeat 4 exercises. We've got time for 5 rounds of that. And we're going to start down on the floor with some bridges to fire up those glutes and start warming them up. So lay on your back, pull your heels in by your hips, shoulders flat on the floor. And you're just going to lift those hips up and then back down. So press through the heels as you lift those hips, engage the glutes, and try to keep them engaged as you lower down. And we're just doing 30 seconds, bridges. Try to reach those knees inward. And at the bell, you're going to hold your bridge up. So if you need some support in this bridge, keep your elbows on the floor, bring your thumbs under your hips, and that will help keep those hips supported. Pressing through the heels, lift the hips really high, and just step 1 foot forward, and then bring it back in. Step the other foot forward, and in. As you do this, you're trying to keep those hips lifted and level, so that's where that support comes in if you feel them dropping or twisting. And we're just tapping 1 foot out and then bringing it back in towards the hips, firing up those glutes and hamstrings. At the bell, bring the hips down. This time when you bring them back up, bring 1 foot up with them, and then set them back down and bring the other foot up. So single leg bridges to fire up those glutes. Just lifting the hips, bringing 1 foot up with it. If you need the support, if those hips are twisting, the thumbs are there to help you out. Drive those shoulders into the mat. Lift the hips as high as you can. At the bell, both feet down, hips up high, and we're just going to keep them high. Come halfway down and then back up. Down and up. Really firing up those glutes now. Reach those knees together. Feel the inner thighs start to activate. And press into those shoulders and into the heels. Really squeeze the glutes. We're almost done with our first 2 minutes, and we'll come to the feet next. So take a quick hug of the knees, release those glutes, roll yourself up to standing. We're going to work 1 leg at a time now. Pick 1 foot to start, step the other foot back, knees are going to stay parallel, hips are going to stay even. And we're just going to bring those hands to the hips, or we're going to reach down towards the ankle as we tip forward from the hips. Single leg deadlift here to fire up the hip and glute. Let's go. So keep those hips square, but push them back just a little bit as you tip forward. If you want, you can reach down towards the ankle. And if you want even more, you can pick up that back leg and activate the standing leg just a little bit more. If you need help with that balance, those toes are just light on the floor. At the bell, your standing leg, ignore my dogs. Step back, lunge, tap it in. Lunge, tap it in. I am a busy mom. I do not have time to re-record this video, so ignore my dog as he barks in the background and focus on those legs and glutes as you step back into that wide, low lunge. That front knee staying right over that front ankle. Those hips are staying square. And at the bell, you're going to stay in your lunge. So let's step back into that lunge and hold it, and let's tip forward, reach towards that front ankle. Or just keep the hands on the hips and just a little lean forward. So we're going to put that first move with this static lunge here. We're just going to hold it, reach, come back up. So keep some weight on that back leg, and as you come up, really feel it in that glute. At the bell, we're going to fire up that back glute just a little bit more. Keep a little bend in that standing leg and just lift and lower your back leg. Try to keep those hips square. Really activate that back glute. That front hip is saying hello, hopefully. And if you want to challenge, we just keep the toes off the floor. Breathe. Fight through that burn. You get a break at the bell. You get to stretch out those legs. Stretch out the glute, because we got another side. So whatever you need to do to release that glute, go for it. And then start to bring your weight into the opposite foot. Knees parallel. Bring that foot back behind you. Hands on the hips, or get ready to reach towards the ankle. You got a little bend in that standing leg. Hips are staying square. And just tip forward and then back up. Down and back up. Pushing those hips back. Activating that glute and hamstring. Reaching down if you want, adding that foot lift if you want a little bit more. If you want to challenge your balance here. If your balance isn't there today, we keep those toes down. And then at the bell, we're going to step that foot back into that low lunge. So step back like you're stepping on railroad tracks to help keep those hips square and stay steady in the legs. Step back and then back in right under the hips. Bring some weight into that back leg when you step into that back ball of the foot. Really fire up that back. Hamstring and the glute. It's a glute focus today. At the bell, we're going to hold this lunge, drop low, and then tip forward over that front leg, stand up tall. You can reach towards the ankle and bring the hands back up. Make sure you're shifting weight back into this back leg. You're going to feel a big load on that front leg, so let the back leg help you out. And then at the bell, we're going to bring all the weight into this front leg, and we're going to fire up that back glute. Ready? Leg lifts. Up and down. Keep a little bend in your standing leg. Keep those hips square. Try flexing your foot and really press through the heel. Fire up that back side. Almost there. We're going to stretch it out for 30 seconds at the bell. Tapping down if you need help with the balance. 3 seconds. Shake it out. Stretch that glute. However you need to. We're going to stay on the feet. We're not quite done. We've got some side lunges. So make sure you got room to step from side to side. I may need to go corner to corner. But we're just going to alternate legs. Side to side in about 5 seconds. Keep the chest up. As you step out, press that knee over the middle toes. Press your hips back as you keep that chest lifted. Firing up those inner thighs a little bit. Really press into this straight leg. Bring yourself back up, out, and in. We want our toes facing the corners, protecting that knee joint as we step out. All right, let's take it to some side squats. So now when you step out to the side, bend both knees, sit those hips back, and drop low into a wide squat, side to side. Really squeezing those glutes. Knees still pressing out. At the bell, wherever you are in your squat, whichever side you step out on, stay there. We're going to hold it pulse. Just little squat pulses. So knees are out. Let's tuck that tailbone under a little bit in this pulse and really activate those glutes. Squeeze them. Think about the muscles we're working. Make them work a little bit harder. Press that foot into the floor. At the bell, we're going to hold our squat. So if you need to shake it out, take a second, shake it. We're going to tip forward from the hips in our squat. So you can have hands on the hips as you tip forward and then stand tall, or you can reach towards the floor. Just like we did in our lunge. Just tip forward and come up. This time we're going right down the middle, really burning the legs. Enjoy that burn. That's why you press play on this video. So stay in it, 5 seconds. We're gonna finish on the floor. We've only got time for one more round, so we'll come back down for some bridges. If you want to release those glutes with a quick knee hug, go ahead. This time when we bridge, we're going to cross at the ankles as we bring them down to the mat or the floor. Really bring those knees in towards each other and press that whole foot down into the floor as well as your shoulders. You're going to squeeze the glutes and just lift up and down. So your range of motion might be a little less with your legs in this position. That's okay. You might want to use those hands to help keep those hips supported as you lift and lower. That's okay. We're really firing up those inner thighs along with the glutes here. So squeeze those glutes, squeeze the knees in, press the foot down. At the bell, we're going to switch which foot is in front, and we go again. So if you needed a second to shake it out, no shame in that, but get back to it because we've only got 30 seconds to work at a time. At the bell this time, you get to take the feet wide outside the hips. So if you're on a mat, they'll be towards the edge of your mat. Keep squeezing those glutes. Keep pressing those shoulders down. Try to lift the hips level, even with the knees crossed. Now feet wide, hips up and down. Press that whole foot down and try to keep the knees tracking right over those middle toes as you squeeze the glutes up and then a little tap back down, or maybe even hover the tailbone off the floor. You're almost done with this workout. At the bell, you've only got 30 more seconds, and we're going to bring those feet back in about hip distance apart, and we're going to keep those hips lifted. Just come halfway down and then back up. You're almost done with this glute workout, so squeeze them just a little bit harder. Lift those hips just a little bit higher. Almost there. At the bell, you get to stretch it out because you'll be done. Lift just a little bit higher. You've only got about 3 seconds left. Squeeze those glutes.
Activity completed.
You are done. Release those glutes. Grab some water. Take a quick stretch. Or maybe even try another 12-minute video if you've got a little bit more time in your day. Thank you so much for joining me. There's that dog again. Saying goodbye. Have a great rest of your day.